You know, that whole song is about the fact that nothing really matters but your friends and your family and your relationships and all this crud. The globalists want to keep you poor so that you're always scrabbling for just enough to live so that you never in your hierarchy of needs become more advanced. It's a form of slavery, and it's wrong. And that's why they want to destroy our markets. They want to destroy our industry. They want to destroy our local communities because it is a system of control. Control is the name. But the good thing about it is there's good and there's evil in this world. So evil doesn't get to have everything at once unless it convinces you you don't have power. Groups are hacking into cell phones and to your computers and downloading your private, I guess, home shot pornography. I guess that's some popular thing to do, and that ties into a Paul Joseph Watson article breaking it down. The TSA is now saying, oh, we're going to take the radiation scanners out. That's not really true. We're going to be breaking that down. A bunch of economic news as well. U.S. companies sharpen job cutting, shears as sales slow. I'm going to be getting to all of that and a lot more today in this final hour. But let's go to your calls as promised. I'm going to get to a lot of those before I get into the news. Stephen in Florida, thank you for calling today. Welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon, Alex. Couple things I just want to cover real quick. First of all, I got a neighbor across the street from me who works at Universal Studios over here in Central Florida. It's a big theme park. And he mentioned to me that they have a parody they're doing. They covered like different things in a humorous vein of what's gone on through the year. And, of course, they're covering the political campaign. And so they're portraying Obama and Romney. And they have Obama with a bikini-clad woman and Romney with a real conservative, Mormon-type woman. And anyway, what's happened is they have, like, people that visit there can, like, comments, handwritten and turn them in as they leave. And he said overwhelmingly what has happened is Republican Romney supporters are putting in, basically doing what you've been covering about what's going on with Twitter with Obama supporters. These people are putting in death threats to the people working there, to the actors and such, et cetera, to the point where now Universal's had to actually change the way they're doing that skit and making it, because they were saying, you're making it look like Obama is the favored one. And so now they've made it kind of look more like they're both.
Hey, I want to investigate this. Is this in the news?
No, he said they don't want it out there in the public because it's, be bad for publicity.
Okay, this is Universal there in Orlando?
Yes, sir. And he's been there 6 years, and he's real reliable. He's on board with what's going on with what you're exposing.
And they have say that again. What is it? It's cross-dressing Obama and Romney?
No, what they're doing, they're showing guys in suits supposed to be, impersonating Obama and Romney, and then they have Obama with a bikini-clad woman making him look like a lecherous, fool. And then Romney, he tells the woman, you shut up and just stand there and be quiet.
Okay, I misunderstood. I thought, because I kind of halfway heard the first thing of what you said. Okay, so it sounds like it's anti-Obama.
Well, no, actually, because they have,
because I guess with a modern American, it's cool to have the bikini-clad chick, so Romney's the bad guy.
Yeah, exactly. So they've changed it to where now they have both of them wearing the same kind of suit, and both of them with a bikini-clad woman. So
wait a minute, so this is what they're teaching kids, that married men are supposed to be with bikini women?
Yeah, apparently what they're putting forth there, and I mean...
Sounds really weird. What is the name of this? I'll try to look it up. Universal Studios Obama-Romney skit?
Yeah, it's just they do a thing covering what's gone on throughout the year, and they've been doing a parody, basically, kind of making fun of both candidates, but the way it's been come across, he said it was obvious to people anyway, that it looks like they're favoring Obama, so the Republican visitors coming in there.
Oh, here it is. It's actually on Fox News locally, and it says what you were saying, that Universal Studios Romney skit, lauds Obama, laughs at Romney.
Right. But they're getting death threats on the actors. That's the one thing. And on people leaving if they were supportive of Obama. They were actually writing comments threatening them.
Wow, that's not good. Well, I guess the Secret Service has got to look into it. Well, I guess they're busy. My question here, looking at this, is why did they even come up with something like this? It's so crazy. Freedom is popular. that even, you know, with my ham-fisted attempts at fighting the globalist, we're having this much success. So come on in, folks, for the big win against the New World Order. Speaking of big wins, major airports to remove invasive X-ray body scanners. And this is a win, but not a complete win. We're going to break that down at the bottom of the hour. I've also got economic news I've got to get to, proving we're going into a depression. And again, people say, well, don't be negative. Say things are getting better. That'll spur it. That's in a real economy. Being positive does help things. Outlook is important. When it's a designed implosion, I've had business people go, come on, just say it's a good economy. Well, it's better in some areas of the country, like Austin where I live, but in most areas it's a depression. And lying to ourselves about this is not good. Every metric shows we're in trouble. We're going to be looking at some of that. But right now, let's go to your calls. Going to your phone calls here. Ernest in Washington. Ernest goes to InfoWars. Ernest, you're on the air. Welcome.
Well, thank you, Alex. I just was watching you on Prison Planet TV this morning, and I was wondering, if I missed it, did you catch the Donald Trump announcement about offering Obama $5 million for his documentation?
You know, I did, and it is just a total stunt. I talked about it with Joe Curl of the Washington Times earlier, and you've got on the Democratic side, you know, that lawyer running around going after Romney for, you know, testifying for his friend at a custody hearing, and it's just all. Look. We don't really know who Obama is. We know the birth certificate's a forgery, but I was never a birther because you can't. It's just a quagmire. I know Obama said he won't just ban semi-auto rifles. He wants our handguns in the debate before last. I know he told Congress that NATO now runs our military with the UN. I know he's shutting down power plants and to make more money for his buddies. I mean, I know Obama's terrible. But I mean, what's your take on Donald Trump's announcement?
Well, I kind of thought it was a smokescreen myself. I thought maybe it was a response to the 4 million copies of Dreams of My Real Father going out over the key states that I just read about. Who knows?
Absolutely. We have had Mr. Gilbert on repeatedly. We sell the film, but he got backers to put out millions of copies free across the country. Yeah, exactly. It's not that he has a fake birth certificate because he's from Kenya. That was the old cover story he put for 17 years in his Harvard publications and in books and everywhere. I mean, it's a fact he said he was from Kenya. His wife's on video twice saying it, but he wasn't from Kenya. That was the old cover story. He's from Hawaii, Frank Marshall Davis's son. I think it's compelling evidence. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Ever since I saw the interviews of, Dreams of My Real Father with you, that just puts everything into perspective exactly.
But again, we can't 100% prove it, so we just have to say he isn't who he says he is. He's hiding his records. And I should have covered the Trump thing more. It broke right as I went on the air, and then I looked at it during breaks and basically have it over here in the stack, and Curl covered it. Curl on air. I have to be careful because I was talking to him off air, and he didn't even say anything off air. It was off record. But once you wear a journalism hat, I mean, I wear a commentator hat, a rant hat, a tirade hat, a researcher hat. It's really what I do when I'm not on air. I don't talk about myself for people to know why I do what I do. But I more and more have this journalist hat on where people tell me stuff even on record, and I don't want to say it unless they're saying it because they can say you said it wrong. But anyways, Curl didn't really tell me anything. No, it was on air. It was on air. He said, that Trump might have done this. Basically, he implied for Obama to smokescreen the terror stuff. That was on air because we were talking about the lawyer woman, Gloria Allred running around going after Romney. And he was saying, yeah, she's going after Romney, and this Trump thing might be that too. And a lot of insiders like Dr. Jerome Corsi, who's talked to Trump quite a bit, and others that I've talked to off record, they really think Trump is a Democratic Party operative. That's why he's given more money to Democrats than Republicans. And then he does this to get his casinos authorized in Democratic crime syndicate areas like Chicago. Yeah, not bashing Chicago. We're on in Chicago. Great people, great city. But, I think Chicagoans know their government's a bunch of dirtbags. I mean, I love Austin, but they're dirtbags. I mean, our government's a bunch of crooks. So anything else, sir?
Alex, is that he could come up with forged documents for everything else, just like he did his birth certificate, just to get the $5 million.
Yeah, it could be like some public payoff, but I don't think Obama will really even respond to this because it would be seen as unpresidential to say, here's my records. Look, I've personally talked on air to people that went to college with him. There's news out about saying he's a cocaine dealer. I haven't even gotten to. I tend to just not even get into this stuff because you can't prove it one way or the other. But, Obama, the way he dressed, the way he acted, looked like, he was having a party there in the 70s. A lot of people were. But, again, none of that sticks. I mean, we hear a lot of stuff about Romney. Who knows if it's true? But I agree with you. Great points. Let's go ahead and go to Joe in Mississippi. You're on the air, Joe. Welcome.
Oh, the Rebel has a magazine and it's shiny.
Thank you. So you're implying it's bad that I hold up these magazines, the printed word. Thank God for the Gutenberg press and for free speech, and it's horrible that I sell magazines at cost, and I get really, really excited imagining millions of people reading these and physically holding the articles that have big color posters inside. If you like shiny stuff, look at that big shiny poster saying "You are the hope" with the V for Vendetta guy in it. Pretty evil. Anything else about magazines that are shiny there?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite parts about the magazine is the poster in the middle. It's absolutely brilliant, and you guys did an excellent job during the Money Bomb. Very riveting radio.
Oh, I thought you were teasing me talking about a shiny magazine.
Oh no, I was being a Lord banker.
Oh, good. Well, no, I mean, people do get mad at me for selling anything. But you know what? I didn't even plug this last hour, but it really hit me. I'm going to put you on hold for a minute. I have privately thought about how do I pitch this magazine that sold out the first issue, close to selling out the second issue, but also subscribers. How do I sell it? Well, I go, well, what's the truth? Why did you do the magazine? And I thought back to like 6 months ago when I was first wanting to do it. Well, it was really years ago I wanted to do it, but really got earnest on it. And it was because imagine giving these to people to wake them up, and imagine getting a year subscription for your mom, your dad, your son, your daughter, your pastor, your neighbor, the local library, the local police department, the local county commissioners, the state house. Everybody should get subscriptions, 13 issues, $59.95. That includes the shipping. One time, bam. And give it to the library. A lot of people do that. And then the library, you may get dozens to read it. We're going up to 60 pages now. And that is just a fabulous idea to give this as a Christmas gift or a holiday gift. I'm sorry, caller, I'm going to shut up. Now that you're being serious, what'd you call about?
Well, I called in about the debates. I totally agree with you. I watched the first two, but I couldn't even make myself watch the third one. It just made my head hurt. And I watched the third-party debate yesterday, and it was very refreshing to sing the breadth of topics that they covered. The spectrum is just refreshing.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance. I didn't get a chance to watch the third-party debate. I probably should have.
Yeah, I mean, nothing groundbreaking or anything, but it's just interesting to see the vast difference there is between the controlled debate and the third-party debate.
Who did you like the best?
At the third-party debate?
Yes, sir.
Gary Johnson.
Yeah, that's probably one reason I didn't watch it is, number one, I wanted to hang out with my children a few hours, but number two, it's just this stuff gives you a headache after a while, but some of them, like the socialist and people on there, I mean, I just don't need to hear any more of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. But he was fiery in the debate. It was very refreshing, and he got a lot of applause. But what's frustrating is the fact that, I tell people about how this whole thing's controlled, and it's so fun to be fooled and to go along with the winner. And
that's it. It's a bandwagon thing. They want to feel like, oh, yeah, my team's going to the Super Bowl. Why are you making fun of sports? And it's like, man, you're a chump.
Yeah. I mean, I explained it, and I know for a fact that they understand what's going on, that there's two sides of the same coin. But apparently it's just too much fun to be going along with this
Well, by the way, John Baum, one of our reporters and one of the radio producers, his mother was at that in Chicago. We should have your mom, John, as a reporter. She's coming in Friday. Isn't your mom a journalist? Used to be. Your dad's an award-winning one, isn't he? What he's won? What's it called? A Peabody. Hey, where's my Peabody? I don't know if I deserve one, but now a Edward R. Murrow Award or something, but I think some of my crew does. I think Dan Bedondi deserves a Pulitzer Prize. Sick of the globalist eugenicist control freaks adding poison to your water and laughing as you get sick and die? Start purifying your water with ProPur. My friends, I've done a lot of research, and the best gravity filter out there, bar none, is ProPur, and it's available discounted at Infowars.com. Its filters are silver impregnated to prevent bacterial growth. There's no priming required. It's NSF 42 certified. Optional fluoride filters can reduce fluoride up to 95%. Easy to set up and use. Doesn't require electricity. Purify water from lakes, streams, ponds, and wells. This filter system leaves in beneficial minerals, which is key. Save money by not buying bottled water and avoid BPA that leaches from the plastic. ProPur is the best gravity-fed filter out there. It's what my family uses. Infowars.com already has the lowest price on ProPur. But if you add the promo code WATER at checkout, you get an additional 10% off at Infowars.com. You can also call to order 888-253-3139. More and more, I'm becoming conditioned. Every week or so, I see articles where the police go to the wrong house and shoot a little kid or shoot an old lawyer or kill a county judge or shoot a mama. And then they don't even get in trouble. It's like wrong house, kill everybody, shoot people, throw a flashbang in, set a baby on fire. That happens. I see that story routinely where they throw it in the crib or throw it on a little kid and burn them up, kill them, half kill them. And it just shows, you know, I'm not here airing it every day, or it might happen 30 times before I even cover one of them. And that just shows how I'm becoming conditioned to just accept it. Yeah, you know. Now they're saying they're going to have SWAT team raids for just regular warrant service, not even high risk. And it's the message of men in black are coming to kick down your door and drag you off. Doesn't that scare you? Aren't you scared of the government? Let's go back to your phone calls. Dennis in Alabama, you're on the air. Thanks for holding.
Hey, I just wanted to tell you that I drive a truck, and every time I pick up a different trailer, I put a sticker on the back, and when I'm out of stickers, I write it in the dirt on the back door. So, Infowars.com.
Beautiful, my friend. That's how you get the word out. But don't let the TSA see that at a checkpoint. You're not allowed to do that.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. I haven't seen one of these checkpoints yet, but I don't know what to do when they pull me over for no reason and want to, you know, I got nothing to hide, but I'm not into that stuff, you know. Well,
here's the deal. If you just search the TSA highway checkpoints or things like that, they're having them all over the country. The biggest area is Tennessee and surrounding states is where we've seen like half of them when I see it in the news. But you could run into Marines, you could run into Army, and a lot of times this traffic backed up for miles. I mean, it's like a holiday to make everybody wait. Governors and people get upset, but they just keep doing them. But we got to keep pushing back. They're trying to break our will, trying to condition the police, everybody to accept it. Yeah, there's an article, what is that, out of Forbes? The TSA is coming to a highway near you. And first they try to do commercial vehicles. They're also trying to just stop everybody now. And discretion's the better part of valor. It's good to have a camera. It's good to videotape it. And it's good to educate them. Wow, you know, what happened to the 10th Amendment, states' rights? And, you know, sworn police officers aren't supposed to set up random checkpoints. Are you looking for somebody? I mean, is there a bank robbery in the area? Do I fit the description? What is your emergency? And by the way, you're not even a sworn officer. And then just be real calm with them. And you know, because at first they'll try to act like, you know, you're doing something wrong. They'll call over a cop who'll try to act like you're doing, and just go, hey, guys, this is America. This isn't funny. And as soon as you're not intimidated and start laughing at them, generally they just say, get out of there, move on, move on. They want to get the next person. When patriots act scared and act freaked out, it's over. You're going to jail for something. I mean, I'm just like, wow, you really want your kids growing up in the country where there's checkpoints on the highway? You really, you know, the border's basically wide open and you're using this to harass us. I mean, they just start getting preached at. And believe me, in the checkpoints I've run into, and I've run into quite a few of them, I mean, the cops are just like, Well, one time they knew who I was. It's on video, and they go, "Oh, yeah, the Serbs are going to invade, Alex. Get out of here." I mean, it was just ridiculous. I never said the Serbs were going to invade. But, I mean, there they were running a checkpoint in Kyle on I-35 with traffic literally backed up 20 miles. And then later, I called the police chief about it. This is a long time ago. And the police chief spokeswoman at the time said, well, it was a federal grant. And then the legislature had to get involved. They were doing these all over. It was like 10 years ago or more. Time just flies. But, I mean, there's your answer. Now, obviously, if you're a truck driver, you're commercial, so they claim you've waived more of your rights. But, you know, I mean, next are they going to say you got to lick their boots because you don't have any rights?
A weapon, too. And what do you do when they ask you if you got a weapon? You say, yeah, they're not going to take my Glock away from me. You know, what are they looking for?
That's the problem. It doesn't matter if the state law says you can have it. It doesn't matter if you have a reciprocal concealed carry. A lot of cops are good people and actually like the concealed carry and know it means you've been through a bunch of background checks as much as they have, so they'll leave you alone. It's not really the police you have trouble with. It's these TSA people. We've seen them in California and Dallas and places get in the face of TV trucks. I mean, you know, TV station pulls up because they got a checkpoint going at a bus terminal or train station or highway. And the TSA, there's been newscasts. They'll march over and go, "What are you doing?" "Well, we're here." "No, you're not. You turn that off." And then they'll call cops on them and stuff. I mean, that's just power mad, power grabbing.
Well, keep it up, man. I don't have time to get on the computer much, and I just get a lot of my information from you guys. And just keep it up, and I'll keep putting your name out there on the back of these trailers.
Well, God bless you. You sound like the guy saying, just come on into Motel 6, and we'll keep the light on for you. Can you say that? We'll keep the light on for you?
As long as they don't come knocking on my door.
We'll keep the light on for you.
We'll keep the light on for you.
You got it. Hey, Dennis, you got a great voice. I wasn't making fun of it. I actually like it. You just sound like the Motel 6 guy. Alex Jones here with a message that could revolutionize health in this country. Going back about a year and a half ago, I began to learn about the incredible health effects of Youngevity products. Aaron Dykes lost 92 pounds. We're going to show you some before and afters. Aaron, break down what happened, your story.
I've worked really hard with diet and exercise to try to lose weight, but I just didn't get the results. It just didn't happen. Then I saw what you were doing with InfoWarsTeam.com. I wasn't even trying to lose weight, but I got it because I wanted to feel better energy. I wanted that nutrition. Didn't even understand how that could kickstart my own weight loss goals, but the products did that for me. I found myself suddenly losing weight, more energetic, wanting to exercise, wanting to eat the right foods.
And they don't even advertise it as weight loss. I want to challenge our radio listeners to go to InfoWarsTeam.com, sign up as a distributor, and get wholesale pricing discounts at InfoWarsTeam.com. Okay, look, I'm going to go to more of your calls. The toll-free number to join us is 800-259-9231. I want to hit some news now, go back to your calls, then get into some of the economic news we have yet to get to. But Tim, Pointy Toes, that's a nice nom de plume. Sean, Muhammad's calling from Pakistan. I hadn't even noticed that somebody was calling from a foreign country. Or I would have gone to them earlier. Let's go to one of those calls. Let's just go to a few calls right now, but real fast. And then I'll get into study. Vast majority of homemade porn, private photos ends up online. Smartphone app now used to snap photos of you. So I'm going to get to all of this. I meant to cover it yesterday, but I promised to get to it. And also, is it a full victory against the TSA that they claim they're bringing out the naked body scanners out of the major airports and moving them to fry people at smaller airports? That's actually them now covering all the airports with them. But I'm going to break that down. It's here in my stack. I will get to that in the economic news here in just a moment as we break down what the globalists are up to. And knowing is half the battle. But Muhammad in Pakistan, listening via an Android cell phone to a free app. You're on the air, sir.
Hi, Alex. How are you, mate?
I'm all right. How can I serve you today?
First of all, you are a great person. You are my hero. I've been following you for the last about 5 years. And I really pray for you that God make you successful in your fight against the Zionist, globalist, New World Order.
Well, I know this. I wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for people's prayers. So thank you for your prayers.
And thanks very much for waking me up. And I am a Pakistani guy. Please beg my pardon for my poor English.
Are you kidding? I can't speak Pakistani. I'm always impressed at how many people from overseas can speak English. Go ahead, sir.
Right. Alex, I have a very basic education. I have only high school education in Pakistan. I'm from third world country in a small little village. If I can get awake, why can't my American fellows get awake? This is what surprised me.
Well, let me ask you a question there. Do they put sodium fluoride in high levels in your water?
Not really.
No. Do they feed you GMO? No, your government won't let it in. Does the average person there watch the high-tech brainwashing that emanates out of Hollywood? The answer is no. You guys have not been conquered, in history, except for brief periods of time, so you're also fiercely independent people. I'm not here to tell you about what it is to be Pakistani or Pashtun or Afghan, but everybody knows. Who knows anything? Even dumbed-down Americans know that. And Americans who used to be pretty similar to people like in Pakistan, rugged, individualistic, and ready to get in a fight in a minute, we've now been domesticated scientifically. So I don't get mad at my fellow zombie Americans. I feel sorry for the late, great USA, and I want to restore the Republic and have America be the greatest exporter in the world again and have everybody love America again instead of being the heart of the globalist empire.
Right, absolutely. You are absolutely right. I've been following you on TSA. I've been listening to your interview with General Hamid Gul. You've been doing a great job. I love you, patriotic guys. Jesse Ventura, Webster Tapley, Gerard Serente, and this is my only basic education. I'm not a very highly educated person. I've been joined planetinfowars.com. I've been writing some articles there. Just want to send a good message to the whole patriot Americans that I am in love with you. I'm a true Muslim guy. I'm not Al-Qaeda or anything. I am a true Muslim. I'm not Wahhabi. I'm not Shia. I'm not Sunni. I'm just Muslim. That's all. And humanity comes first. Religion comes afterwards.
Absolutely. And I mean, all Islam's saying is there's one God and that we should all, love that God and be at peace under God's rules. Instead, we're under the New World Order's rules, which no one can deny is absolutely satanic and is the enemy of all free peoples. God bless you, sir. Good to hear from you. Let's go to Sean in California, and then we'll go to Tim in Nevada and others. Sean, you're on the air.
Hi, Alex. I just wanted to comment on yesterday's topic because I have firsthand knowledge about this. There's a former Clippers player by the name of Keith Kloss who openly, through some strange circumstances, I became very good friends with this guy, and I'm not going to air his dirty laundry on how that happened, but this guy openly tells me that the games are not so much fixed, but they're guided heavily, and the referees are the ones that are doing the guiding.
Okay, well, let me just stop you for a moment. I'm not saying you're a liar. I don't really follow sports. I don't know who this Kloss guy is. I don't know who you are. So you could call up and tell me that Marvin the Martian's fixing, NBA games. I have no doubt that stuff goes on. That's why we had the guest on with the fixes in. But obviously, that's circumstantial, so I really can't have you go any further with specifics. I mean, the way the call should go, because again, we don't screen your calls, is, hey, I'm friends with a professional athlete, and they tell me that it's more guided rather than fixed. So, just what is your view on all this?
Well, my view on this is I know that he's gotten blackballed from the game, and now he plays in China. I mean, it's like... Okay, specifically, though, give me your take on how you're saying things are guided, versus, saying this guy's name. Well, I guess I'm saying I completely wholeheartedly agree with you that everything is based around the money game, and if you make waves, you're going to get canned. But
how is guided? How do you guide it but not fix it?
What you're instructed to do by certain referees is to put different degrees of enthusiasm in your game, foul other players on purpose, and the referees are the ones who are kind of in charge of steering everything.
Yeah, that's what my guest said to me really off air, but also some on air in the TV interview we did, was that it's the refs are who everybody goes to. They're like the little crime bosses.
I completely agree. That was my point.
Now, you've got to have it always compartmentalized with executive fraud. That's the only way to engineer it. You can't have trying to get the players to execute it all. Yeah, that's why you see so many bad calls. That's why I just don't watch it. I mean, it's and again, folks, I used to watch sports. I know why people like them. I get it. It's just that it's empty. You know, you're leaving a friend's house after watching a day of sports on a Sunday, and it's like you just haven't had a life. You know, I mean, go hiking, go mountain biking, go for a jog, go out and drink beer with friends. I mean, I'm not saying go out and drink. That's better than just sitting there watching TV drinking. You know, go help homeless people. And you're like, that's boring. No, it's empowering. Or go paint a picture, you know. Not saying go drink beer. You know what I mean? I'm saying it's just there's so many things that are more empowering than just sitting around all day watching things that don't matter. I mean, you listen to this show. We are a spectator society, but I'm here dedicating my time. It's not canned. It's live. It's real. You're really hearing what I have to say. I have guests on. We're not screening the calls. And you're going to learn about stocks and bonds and gold and silver and geopolitical things. And, I mean, I'm telling you, this is what people that are successful do. They're out there researching things as well. It's loserish to just be into entertainment all day. You're supposed to do entertainment sometimes to blow off steam. Like, I'm probably too far to the extreme. Right now, I've rediscovered Gilligan's Island, the 3 seasons, and I always liked it when I was a kid, and I didn't get to watch a lot of television when I was a child. We were always busy doing stuff, or I might get to catch it every once in a while when it was on. So, you know, I've been kind of guilty pleasure with my children who don't watch a lot of TV, usually educational stuff. We've been watching Gilligan's Island, and I mean, it's so healthy. Just with the gender roles and the messages and how they all work as a team, and it's funny, it's slapstick, and it's so simple, and it's good. And it's not that I'm some throwback. I watch these news shows. They're designed to screw you up. And I could instinctively tell you that, but I can go show you where they're funded by the Department of Defense, different agencies to do it. You know, anti-family, anti-God, anti-private property. Yeah, see, I tweeted that last night while I was watching Gilligan's Island. I said, I wish modern TV was not a scientific attack system. Mary Ann's a very nice lady. And anyways, I sent that out. It was the episode where it was called Two Gingers, where there's they're watching Ginger do a play, and Mary Ann falls down and hits her head, then wakes up and thinks she's Ginger. I mean, that is just hilarious, man. Anyways, I'm sorry. People say, well, you're just corny, you're stupid, you just don't get all the modern stuff. No, I get it. Just no attention span, mindless trash. And I mean, I can watch mindlessness. It's just not if it's weaponized against me. I could probably watch football if there wasn't globalist messages during all the breaks. You know, I mean, that's what I'm saying. This is meant to hurt us, is my point. Gilligan's Island, they were just introducing people. You know, television been around 20, 30 years, and people wouldn't put up with that type of garbage. You know, people call it wimpy to be against drones or be against murder or be against killing. You know, it's cool to be into death. The people I know from World War II, Vietnam, Korea, who actually killed a bunch of people, you know, or saw people die. I mean, I've told the story. My grandfather, they would go into town in East Texas, and he'd take my dad to, you know, see a movie or something. And if there was mild violence in it, he'd get up and leave. And I'd say, oh, we're not watching this trash. And he was not really a worldly guy, but he was well-traveled in the world. And he'd seen kids starve to death, during the occupation when they kicked the Germans out of Italy and things like that, and been there and actually given his food away almost all the time and lost a bunch of weight just because he couldn't stand seeing little kids starve to death. But see, nowadays people just, oh, that's those kids starving. You know, I'm telling you, nowadays people wouldn't give their food away probably. And I'm not sitting there building up my grandpa. The point is that he would never let anybody throw away food. People say, like, the old timers, don't waste that food. Well, that's because from the Depression and stuff, folks, you didn't eat sometimes. And I'm already digressing. I said I'd get to this news. It's just that people that seen a bunch of violence, it's not fun to see it. Like, I've seen some violence. I've seen some bad things. And nothing like somebody who's been in a bunch of combat, and I don't think it's funny. And I just noticed how there's so many empty, cowardly people who are into violence, like a extension of them, but when push comes to shove, it's all ritualized. I see this with guys who'll start a fight with you because you're mild-mannered and polite at first. They'll kind of come on, and you're like, all right, let's go. Then it's like, then they back off when they see you turn on. Okay, I'm ready to beat the living daylights out of you to the, all the way, buddy. Let's go. As soon as they see, oh, no, mister. I just wanted to sit here and show off in front of my wife and act tough. I didn't actually want to get this going. And I just don't understand that. I mean, this is a real world we're in, ladies and gentlemen. We're real people. We're really alive. I was listening to Dr. Stan Monteith last night driving home at about 6 o'clock on Genesis. And I knew everything they were saying was true. They were reading the studies about the blubber in whales in the Pacific Ocean off the U.S. coast is up 2,000%. It's bioaccumulating, and how it's bioaccumulating in us and how they're chemtrailing us with it. And it's just like, my God, I'm in a scientific dictatorship being sprayed. And then I felt completely guilty even coming on air talking about the stupid election. I mean, it's just all beyond anything I can imagine. And it gets worse and crazier by the minute. And I was listening to Dr. Stan Monteith, who's a medical doctor, and I already read all the studies he was talking about, and he was just listening for like 45 minutes because I was in traffic. Well, I was doing doesn't matter, I was doing an errand and then traffic. But the point is that for 45 minutes I was listening to this, and I knew it was all true. And I knew listeners tuning in to 90.1 in Austin, a lot of them probably are like, oh, that's just what that guy's saying. Because he's not going, I'm an award-winning medical doctor and author and researcher and blah, blah, blah. He's just on there reading these studies on there. And I'm listening to it, and it's like making me angry. It's like I'm under assault, and it's like the government's God flying around up there spraying us and killing the wildlife and hurting everybody, and I'm tired of it. And then I don't even get mad at cops and bureaucrats now when they're trying to oppress me, because they're victims too. They're just idiots. I'm like, you're an idiot. They're poisoning you. Don't take the vaccines. The sodium fluoride's meant to dumb you down. Go read a study. Then don't ask to search my car. You got kids? Do you got kids? Yeah. Well, you better go look this up. And it's not like I'm some hero telling them this. What am I supposed to do? You're not a hero, folks, speaking out against this. You're just trying to survive. You understand that? See, I just had flashbacks to that last night, listening for 45 minutes. And he just listed study after study with his guest. And I'd looked at all the studies, and I knew it was all true. And I'm just like, and my instinct was get home, sell everything, and go to the Southern Hemisphere. Because they're not running most of these programs in remote areas because it's not cost-effective to wipe out small groups. And then I got home and looked at my 4-year-old daughter, who is the image of innocence and goodness. And here I am launching this whole operation, living here, sworn to stay here and go down with a ship. I don't know if I can live up to that pledge. I think I'm going to definitely move, but and it's not like there's any safe political country to go to, but there's places where they're not spraying aluminum dioxide on us. And they were going over all the stuff it's doing to people and the numbers and the neurological disorders and the lung disorders and the lung cancer exploding after cigarettes went out. It is just off the charts how they're killing us. And it's all just the standardization, normalization of killing us. And I am not going to sit here while they murder my children. I am not going to do it. I want these people arrested. I want people to wake up out of their trance and to do something about this. Stop watching sports and stop acting tough all day. Look at these stacks of articles right here. Look at these stacks of articles, and I've got a whole nother stack on them right here. Going over all of this, you can look up cancer clusters, and it goes over all of it. In fact, I had the guys print me a whole bunch of articles about cancer clusters at the airports, and then I thought I had it together. Oh, God, with my stack here. We're going to have to skip this break. I've got to cover this information. I said I'm going to do it. I know it messes the network up, but I'm skipping this network break. Guys, I know you gave me a big stack of cancer cluster articles, and I know it's here in my stack. Just start putting them on screen. AP, Reuters, all the ones you gave me. Because I want to just put them on screen. I know you printed them. I had them in here like 30 minutes ago. It's mixed in with all these IRS can't travel articles. Oh, here it is. I found them. Never mind. I found them. See, this stuff gets to me, folks. I mean, I literally got lightheaded there where I was just ranting a little bit. And I got lightheaded. It's like I'm like overwhelmed. I mean, you know, it's like almost fainting. It just comes in on you when you don't have a governor that blocks out all this stuff and you really know reality. It's like, what the? I mean, it's overwhelming. They're killing us. They're scum. They brag about it. They got patents on it. The White House science czar writes books about it. I've got one right over there. And they're doing it to us, and they think it's funny. Bill and Melinda Gates, all of them. Here it is. Cancer surgeons and body scanner operators, TSA launches cover-up. And it just goes through all the different mainstream news articles and government documents and documents obtained by the Electronic Privacy Information Center, EPIC, and how for, you know, well, at that time, 8 years, it was a couple of years ago, it's been 10 years now, they put them in Boston, Logan. Look at this headline, and TSA says Boston Logan cancer cluster not due to scanners. They admit there's an off-the-chart cancer increase. And so it goes over all that. And so I thought I would just give you the rest of the story here on this today, because they are announcing major airports to remove invasive X-ray body scanners. And there's a bunch of lies here. Okay, the headline is truthful, but it's deceptive. They have been ordering the backscatter that's a different type of radiation that they say is safe. They said these old ones were safe. The other type may even be worse because it vibrates at the exact frequency to break DNA strands, which is the #1 cause of cancer because you start having mutations. And it's a type you can't even really get around with even nutrition and other things. It's very serious. And it's the same thing with the cell phones. It sends out the same thing as the cell phones, basically. And so people are mad about them saving the naked images. So then they lied and said, we have a computer program that overlays it and we don't save it. Turns out they were saving it. Turns out the overlay they say you see is fake. It is being recorded. And they pass them around and make jokes of them and put them on the internet and go up and ask movie stars to sign images of their genitals. I mean, you know, that's all been in the news. A pack of criminal liars, okay? I mean, it's an enemy operation. Of course they lie to us. To them, they're just killing cockroaches. But the TSA minions themselves, here's the big enchilada. The reason that they are pulling these out of the big airports is because they in the last few years, I've talked to TSA on and off air, they call them in, and this was later confirmed in FOIA releases, and they say, are you concerned about radiation? Are you concerned about, you know, the invasive pat-downs? And if people say yes, they say thank you, then they pink slip them a few weeks to a month later for something else. They start writing them up. Okay? And then they bring in people that will. So the thing is, the TSA wasn't bad 10 years ago. They weren't even bad 6, 7 years ago. It's getting worse now because they're going to use them as the takeover arm. And I've had TSA agents come to my protests, you know, retired ones and people, or people that got out because of it, and they said it's horrible, they're robbing, they're stealing. Well, all of that has come out. But what's happening is because flyers are telling them about the radiation, I know I do it, and because it's coming out that it's lies, that oh, you know, this is 1/1000th of the radiation from a cell phone, like the Las Vegas guy told me last year when he was trying to put me through the ringer. The TSA are watching people get cancer around them. They're watching people with nosebleeds and teeth falling out and cataracts, and because again, Congress has demanded for 4 years that it be tested. Then they lied and said they had. Then it turned out they hadn't tested. Then they did fake tests. Then they lied and said John Hopkins said there was no radiation when John Hopkins' real report actually said it will give you cancer. See, when a report comes out from John Hopkins saying it gives you cancer, with their head radiology scientist saying it, doctor, their response was John Hopkins says it doesn't give you cancer. Kind of like Monsanto with aspartame in the 70s, couldn't get it approved. So they just took out all the monkeys that died and used the monkeys that didn't die and said, and then falsified the report to get it approved. And so what's happening is this is a huge victory for humanity. They cannot get dumb enough people to kill themselves as TSA agents. All they can get now is pedophiles and perverts and pure criminals that know they're getting radiated but are so evil because they get to exercise raw, mindless, idiotic, embarrassing power and rob people. Some get jobs because they want to rob prescription drugs because they're drug addicts. Everybody who's worked in medicine knows that, you know, beautiful women will come in and say, pull out all my teeth because I want a bottle of painkillers, drug addict women will do anything, for the drugs, sex, you name it. Well, it's the same thing for men, and they've been caught over and over again, literally thousands of times. And everybody I know that's flown with any type of addictive legal prescription, it ain't in your bag when you get off the plane. They're going to steal it. Because a lot of them, because I've profiled them, as I watch the news, I research it every day, and I see the patterns. The biggest group are drug addicts that want to steal your prescription. That's your sleeping pills, painkillers, whatever the case is. That's why they really go crazy and take people that have just had surgery to a private room. Everybody keeps wondering why they take them there. It's to get them away from their bags. Because now they're reporting, yeah, they took my bandages off and kept me back there for an hour and I missed my flight. And then my painkiller. Well, of course, they see somebody who's coming through and they go, I just had surgery and you got bandages on. Baby, there is going to be some Vicodin or some other painkillers in that bag. You are getting a strip search and you're getting your stuff stolen. So that's what's going on here, is that they're getting cancer, they're dying, and so they're going to move the really high-powered machines out to the small-town airports to kind of rotate it to people that hadn't had any scanners to begin with, so they can so they can get cooked for a while and figure out they're being killed. Okay, that's what's happening there. But that's a lie, too, because the new scanners radiate you just in a different way, okay? It's a different type of slow-motion disintegration ray. So that's what's going on. So, see, there's a full-spectrum analysis, but it does show that incredible heat is coming in on them. We've known for a long time they're phasing out the classic X-ray because there's so much medical research. Everybody knows X-ray. Oh, by the way, they won't get them approved. They won't even get the monthly technician. See, if you work in a hospital, doctor's office, wherever, monthly, a private third-party firm has to come in and get calibrations. And that's a good reason, because if it's not calibrated right, a regular X-ray can become lethal. That's why they've had so many of these MRIs killing people, because they weren't calibrated right. I mean, they're already high-powered, but you don't calibrate them right, the hair falls out, that day, and then you die of a brain tumor 6 months later. So you're in there around medical equipment. So also they cannot have them certified. They won't have them certified by outside third-party firms. They just say, we wear blue, monkey outfits. We're God. There's going to be no testing. That's just the way it is. And then people start dying of cancer. Okay, we'll just get these to the older, smaller airports that didn't have them. Let them figure out, take them 10 years to figure out it killed them. Oh, we got the new safe ones. And then by the time they figure out those are killing them, oh, here's some new ones. See how this works? And it's just dealing with criminals. Governments run by criminals and all their horrible criminal mindsets. And this is how they do it. This is how they operate. So it's really not a victory. It's a small victory in that they're having to spin the fact that they're moving these out for safer scanners. They're doing it because they've got a mutiny on their hands, and I've got this from sources all over the place, and it's in the news, over the cancer. Okay, you think you're getting radiation? The TSA agents are dead. They're killing themselves to live. Alex Jones here with a very important announcement for truth seekers. We've carried a lot of amazing films and books over the years on the online video bookstore at Infowars.com. And out of all the titles we've carried, one stands out because it is just so chillingly convincing. And that's Dreams from My Real Father by Joel Gilbert, available at Infowars.com. This film exposes the fraud that Obama is like nothing I've seen. If you want to know who Obama's real daddy is, this is the film for you. Don't forget, your purchase supports our broadcast and our growing media network. You'll also find at InfoWarsShop.com, None Dare Call It Conspiracy by Gary Allen, the book that woke me up. We're also carrying Behind the Green Mask, UN Agenda 21 by Rosa Corey. This book is coffin nails to the globalist takeover. The Greater Good, the most professional and up-to-date film I've ever seen exposing the scourge that is vaccines. These titles and a lot more are all available at InfoWarsShop.com. Yes, sir, you are super bad.
Glad to do my thing. And I don't need no one else.
All Live, ladies and gentlemen. I like that. Yeah, you know, I feel good about myself because I know I'm trying to be a good person. I know what he's talking about there. And what about you? You know, when you do the right thing, that's what matters. You know, I've got to do a special report on this or something because I've talked about it some yesterday. I've talked about it today, but I have not done it justice because I started trying to take too many calls. I know we got loaded phone lines. I apologize to Tim, Ken, Marcus, Dennis, and many others we'll have to get to tomorrow. But if you call back in tomorrow and tell the folks if you get through, I'll put you at the head of the line. Thank you so much for holding patiently to hear me babbling. I am basically out of time here. The sands of time for me in this transmission are running low. And I just don't feel like I can do justice to this report. I'm going to have to do a special report on this, maybe today or tomorrow. Because when it's something so important like this, just barely covering it doesn't do it justice. But here it is. This is out of CBS News right here. It's an ode to Rush Limbaugh. Just listened to Rush Limbaugh like 22 years ago when he was first on air. He'd do that. Just loved it. And now I do it. And every time I do it, I realize I'm copying Rush Limbaugh. I don't think he's ever... It'd be a new exercise show. Formerly nicotine-stained fingers. I got it. And, yeah, and a nice dose of something else. There you go. But, I mean, this article says it all. And, again, I already knew all this. You probably knew this. But to see it in CBS News just shows you how off the charts this is. Researching this article, it says that most porn out there is amateur and that most of it is stolen and that they hack into your computer and they hack into your phone or they get your stolen phone. There's a whole market for this. And then it's put on big websites and it's so widespread nobody can even stop it. And then meanwhile, I've got Paul Joseph Watson's article from last week that I never even covered. Smartphone apps now use microphone to record your conversations. AI computer then marks for the thieves, government, corporations, what they want to go back and listen to. And cell phone takes private pictures without your consent. Now, this is finally the last month hit mainstream news. Remember, I was telling you this over a decade ago, and I was the evil kook. And I'm not trying to sit here and say, oh, look, I'm so smart. The point is, this has been out for a long, 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 long time. And when it says it's taking control of your phone, there's people actually taking control of it. And public schools all over the country are watching kids on government-issued laptops at home. And they'll announce on themselves, well, Billy, we saw you taking the drugs. And it turns out it was Skittles. And it's like, why are you watching Billy sitting on his bed or Jenny eating Skittles? In the case of that, it was a boy. And they just go, well, we just watch you at home now. We're just the government. I mean, this is like a lawless road warrior style government just doing whatever it wants. Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.